What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. It is CassMAC Tuesday. Again, I don't have a ton. We can get into the jerks and profile of it all. But I'm going to share this real quick. Hopefully, it's not sharing. It's not there. There we go. I had to find it. All right. Not much, Charles. Not much. The jerks and Profar signing. We're on the board. I really, really like it. 3 years, $42 million, $12 million this year, $15 the next two. I think, given the contracts of this offseason, it's a good deal. It's really market value. He gives us a little bit of a swagger. Yeah, I totally agree, Charles. Gives us swagger, gives us a little bit of contact and on base percentage and a different varieties. Obviously, got power, the versatility to play all three outfield positions. So I think it checks a lot of boxes, the outfield, and you've got depth too. Kelnick and De La Cruz taking the right field likely. It's Kelnick's to lose, even though I think they'll split it a little bit. And Profar being a switch hitter really helps as well. The lineup versatility, I think he should be first until Ronald returns. And then I think he would be a perfect second hitter, but I don't know. You could really go anywhere with that. And obviously pitching still a concern-ish, just because of the lack of experience maybe at the 4-5. You could pitching wise, relievers we've been in the market for a lot. The rumor is Ryan Stanek, and he's been solid throughout his career. Had a bit of a bumpy road the last couple of years, but obviously the Braves are interested. There's something they like, and he's been a key piece to the Houston Astros bullpens and their deep playoff runs. And maybe it's because he faces the Braves, which we usually see Stanek very well. Maybe that's why his ERA and stuff has been a little bloated the last couple of years. Kind of joking there, but not really. But I think Ryan Stanek would be a good fit. He's been rumored, obviously, because with the Joe Jimenez thing. Carlos Estevez is still out there. Kenley Jansen's still out there, and we love the Curacao connection. Obviously, we've had Kenley before, and he probably still has a little bit of desire to close, so I don't know if that would work, but I would definitely still take it because of his experience, and it would definitely deepen the bullpen even more. It would also take the pressure off of guys like Pierce Johnson. Obviously, he's still going to be in the 8th inning, likely 7th, 8th inning, but if you have kind of the three-headed monster that we're used to having, in the absence of Joe Jimenez is really big and glaring, obviously, but you just gotta figure it. I mean, there's the biggest options are probably Ryan Stanek, Carlos Estevez, former Philly and Angel closer, and so there's still options in Kenley Jansen and probably somebody we're not thinking of, a Camilo Duval or something in a trade. Starters, you could still go Jack Flaherty. I don't know that he has made any friends by his comments that about the Dodgers that other teams aren't doing anything. So I don't know if he's made any friends there, and he's kind of had an up and down career, especially the last handful of years. So that's probably the biggest name. Nick Pivetta would require a draft pick. I'm thinking maybe a Robbie Ray from the Giants, possibly. Obviously, Dylan Cease is still out there with the Padres' financial issues, and Michael King, but I think that would cost an arm and a leg. But I think you have to find some sort of veteran. Max Scherzer had a showcase the other day, and Braves were represented there, so maybe we kick the tires on that. I think Max Scherzer is obviously past his prime, and I don't know what else he has left in the tank. But again, whatever starting pitcher or pitching we do get, I trust Rick Kranitz fully. And Andrew Heaney is a possibility. Lefty. I think lefty is important because of all of the star-studded lefties you have in the NL East. It's not a flashy name, but a viable possibility, I think. Maybe one of the Mariners starters, since they have a surplus, but I don't know that we have offensive firepower that they could use. But the Mariners really don't make any sense anyway. I haven't been able to figure them out for a while. I mean, there's so many options probably that we're not even thinking of. But those are like off the top of my head type of things. Chicago just got Ryan Presley, so that kind of so I'm not sure. I mean, but the organizational depth is still there, pitching wise for sure. But it's just unproven. So I don't know if we go that route or not. But I think we're still turning over every rock, and I'm pretty sure there's some guys we're not even thinking about. I would love Michael King, but again, I think he would cost an arm and a leg. But I mean, if you get a veteran or a bit of more proven back of the baseball card type of player, type of pitcher, then I think you can more so trust a AJ Smith-Shawver to take a step forward, or a Waldrop or something to that nature. But there's still a ton of, again, positional depth in the minors, despite despite the question marks. And obviously Ian Anderson coming back from Tommy John, he probably wouldn't be ready until about June. So I don't think he's a viable candidate yet. Spencer Strider is coming back around May, so that kind of helps. But obviously you don't know exactly what you're going to get coming off an injury like that. So again, you could probably see Drew Hackenberg. Shortstop is the least of my worries, honestly. You could see Nacho Alvarez take a step forward maybe, but Orlando Arcia, if he's in the middle of from last year to 2023, if he hits like 255 with, or even 240 with 19 to 21 homers, I think you're good. I think that's the least of my worries right now, honestly. But I would love an upgrade. So if Ha-Seong Kim continues to wait because he won't be ready for opening day, maybe that's an option. He's the only free agent shortstop on the market right now. But so I think a lot of people are harder on Orlando Arcia because of his antics the last couple of years, but the reality is he's still a very solid defensive option, defensive shortstop, and Nacho Alvarez could definitely take a step forward. Who knows? I mean, Nacho was put to the feet to the fire. Nick Allen is there to be a very maybe versatile option there as well. I mean, again, I would love an upgrade, but pitching is more important. Yeah, we do still have Dylan Lee. We have Perdomo, who is going to be an interesting lefty to watch. Probably the most important lefty to watch out of our bullpen, unless we add there as well. Just because AJ Minter was so important. Dylan Lee, Aaron Bummer, and Perdomo are going to be the primary lefties. And again, Dylan Lee and Aaron Bummer have a bit of a back of a baseball card and some trust, but it will be interesting to watch there. But I think I think it's more of an underrated, unknown bullpen now. The injuries and some of the departures. I also think Chasen Shreve, who we signed to a minor league deal last week, could be a big factor. I think it's definitely, there's more unknown pieces, but I think there could be very underrated pieces in the bullpen that obviously will take a step forward. And again, 12 days till pitchers and catchers report and a long spring training. So moves can still be made. There's a lot of guys still out there, or a decent amount of guys that are still looking for jobs, and that will find them, I believe. And we've done a fantastic job of replenishing the minor league depth. And usually 2 or 3 of those guys come out and make their case always, every year, no matter what the roster and no matter what's expected. There's always expect the unexpected in spring training. So, yeah, would you rather have some more guys with some track records? Probably. But I think it's like I've been saying all off season, it's a changing of the guard, so to speak, and you just kind of gotta embrace the ride of that for sure. But yeah, I'm really happy. Obviously, relief pitcher and starting pitcher would be nice for sure. And I mean, there's 4 catchers on the Gwinnett rosters right now, so I think there'll be movement there, and I'm really excited to see Drake Baldwin in the trajectory. Is he a part of a big trade for us to get somebody, or is he the pair with Sean Murphy, or that's a storyline that's not surprising, but yet it'll be interesting to see how it's played out, because we did sign veteran catcher Kirk Casale to a minor league deal. He's been around the block. Really good veteran guy. Doesn't give you much offensively, but it's kind of the pair that we typically see as the Braves, even though Travis has been solid on both sides. Sale will definitely be our opening day starter as long as everything goes according to plan. Definitely for sure. We've got a good 1, 2, 3 with Sale, Schwellenbach, and Lopez. It's just 4 or 5 right now is a little murky and a little undecided, but again, we will. There's still a lot of time and a lot of things to be decided for sure. But I'm much happier that we made a quality move, and that you really don't have to worry about the outfield as much. I have no idea actually. I think we opened in San Diego. I think we opened on a West Coast trip. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, we opened on a West Coast trip. Which, nice to get the West Coast out of the way early. And a good early litmus test against the all-star team that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, a lot of things must have to play out with spring training injuries and all that jazz, because you know what'll happen. It's just part of it. So we'll see how everything shakes out, but it'll definitely be a good measuring stick to start the season. For sure. I'm surprised Alex Bregman still hasn't signed anywhere, even though there's a scuttlebutt that Jose Altuve is going to play in left field now, and Bregman is going to sign back with the Astros, which would be an interesting plot twist. But there's still pieces yet to be landed anywhere, and I would love Nick Pivetta for sure if he didn't have a draft pick attached to him. He'd probably be signed already if he didn't have a draft pick attached to him. But the Padres have done a lot of talking, saying that a lot of their players are on the trade block, so to speak. But with their financials and the ownership situation, it's been a difficult offseason for them to try to figure out the best avenue. So that's a little weird. The Blue Jays have had a kind of decent offseason, but it's again a little weird. But I think the AL East and NL East are the most competitive divisions, top to bottom, and it'll be that'll be a fun, stressful intriguing ride because everybody's going to beat up on everybody. The Nationals are pesky. The Marlins are the Marlins, but they get some wins here and there. And the Phillies, Mets, and us are very good team. So, well, they're the talk of the baseball world right now. So, I've just kind of avoided MLB Network this off season, to be honest with you. And that's what you kind of have to do. Just because what they've done is the talk of the town, the talk of the sports world, and the talk of baseball, just because it's unprecedented. So they're always going to be front page news. And good for them, but you don't play games on paper, I'm sure they're going to win a lot. And if they don't get close to the Mariner record, I'll be surprised. But again, it is what it is. Just avoid that. But we'll see. I mean, I expected the Reds to be a little bit more active, but their starting pitching is going to be really solid. So maybe they have enough in a lot of their infield to kind of. I thought they would do a little bit more with. No, the earliest there will be a salary cap is probably 2027, and that won't be figured out unless they in the next collective bargaining agreement, which is 2027. So just enjoy these 2 years because it might be a long lockout in 2027, figuring all that stuff out. So no, even though they need it, but no, I don't. I do not think so. There's not a lot of other baseball news. Obviously, as we get closer to spring training, pitchers and catchers reporting, I'll have news on all of that every single day. And obviously signings, all that stuff. He's got 2 more years, and hopefully there's not a lot of guys the next year that are probably going to get a lot. So hopefully his number will go up more. He was 35 votes away, so it's possible. It's a big hill to climb, but he definitely deserves it. And hopefully that will be rectified for sure. Hopefully it will be rectified. Really happy for the guys, as we talked about last week. Very well deserved. But yeah, Andrew Jones, hopefully he'll get his moment soon. Because he made defense cool and just doing what he one of the best two-way players of. Yes, Dale Murphy should be in. Hi, Hudson. Not much. We just have been talking about. We've just been talking about Joe Jurickson Profar. Really excited about that. The outfield is less. That's fine. 15 or 20 will get me to an hour, so that'll be perfect. I really like the Jerickson Profar fit, the value, and the different things he can bring. Some of the people gave us a C plus for it. I don't get it. We were talking about starting pitching options. And there's obviously options. My top option that has been reported would have been like Michael King, but that would have probably cost an arm and a leg. Dylan Cease second, again an arm and a leg. He's wearing number 7. That's already been determined for Jerickson Profar. And yes, Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm very wary about Max Scherzer, but I feel like we're going to do it for some reason. But, I mean, if we can make Chris Sale work, I think we could squeeze the last bit of magic from Max Scherzer, I guess. We just better not give him $15 million. Like all the other older starting pitchers this offseason, but that's like the market value. I threw out some guys maybe from the Mariners as starting pitching options, but I don't know if we have anything offensively attractive. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know either. I just threw it out there. I just threw it out there because there was a Braves representative at his little pitch thing, and I agree. I mean, Chris Sale's kind of got that energy, but yeah, he's kind of got that one. Max Scherzer had more of a whiny energy, maybe. But again, I'll trust Rick Kranitz and Alex Anthopoulos and company if they think of that as legit. I don't know. I like the possibility of Ryan Stanek as a bullpen / opener piece. But I don't know. Max checks a couple boxes, but he scares me. I think he has more blow-ups than he does consistency. If we were going to do that, I would have rather just done Charlie Morton. But that's just my opinion there. But otherwise, it's been pretty quiet, like across Major League Baseball the last few days. I think any personality we put on this team would be fine, but I can agree it can rub guys the wrong way, that's for sure. But we definitely need a veteran or something, because I don't know if you can, because you don't know what you're going to get with Grant Holmes and AJ Smith-Shawver, or even if you go Hurston Waldrop or Ian Anderson coming off an injury, and he wouldn't be ready till June. So I really think you need somebody with a track record and a back of the baseball card you can trust, and the personality and stuff obviously has to work as well. I just don't know exactly who that is. Maybe a Robbie Ray from the Giants or something. I threw his name out there. Who? I don't know who that is. And no, I don't want Marcus Stroman either. I'm not sure who you're referring to. Charles on that one. So I am not sure, but I'm sure there's probably a name we're not thinking of. I'd even take Andrew Heaney at this point. even though he's a little bit more of a crafty lefty. But it would be awesome if something broke right now as I was, but it has not. Yeah, we got the Profar thing 5 days ago, so that was nice. And I think, but let's be honest, most of it's been pretty slow across the league. For like, there's not been a day where there's been a massive amount of signings across the league, let alone what the Braves are doing or not doing. So. Schwellenbach? He's definitely going to be there. Yeah. Schwellenbach's our number 2 at the moment. But thank goodness we don't have like an entire roster to fill, or like so many bad contracts you can't do anything, like the St. Louis Cardinals. So we definitely could be in a more dire situation. There's at least that, thankfully. Yeah, we do. And unfortunately, that's the thing that you cannot predict. But yeah, as long as things, Strider back in May, Acuna back in May, and Acuna looks really good as he continues to work out. So, and Ozuna looks as good as he's ever looked. So I really hope that doesn't mean we're going to try to put him in left field or something, but who knows? Or right field. But I commend Ozuna for everything he's done and the off season that he's put together and the workouts and things of that nature. And I'm really excited for guys like Perdomo, Pilar we got in the Rule 5 draft. Those guys, I'm excited. I think there's a lot more diamond in the rough type of guys, especially for the bullpen. Obviously, would I love a guy like Tanner Scott, Kenley Jansen, all that? Yeah. But I think there's a lot more fun storylines to see. Oh, AJ Smith-Shawver. Yeah, he's probably my leading candidate for number 5 spot in the rotation. Without Spencer Strider starting, he would be my lead candidate before we start spring training and whatnot. I mean, I think Grant Holmes is 4 as of right now, so that's why I think you just need somebody with the back of the baseball card, the experience, just to make the 4 or 5 feel more stable, because a lot of things could happen. As Hudson said, health is the most important, and you can never have enough pitching and the desire of. And they've already said that Spencer Strider won't be on the opening day roster, so he won't be back till probably May. So you just got to be there's just got to be some addition there somewhere. With 340 innings walking out the door, You just have to. I just don't know where it's coming from. I don't even think the crystal ball would have worked for this offseason. Well, we always have our pulse on that for sure, but I don't know. Not that's like maybe, but I don't know. It's not like the NFL where there's like a lot of. Tyler Matzik had a showcase the other day. He's apparently working on another sinker. No news on where he's signed yet, but he's trying to work out. But I don't know. I would hope so, but like I don't know. It's not like the NFL in terms of like super quality always getting cut. I don't know. But if there were, I'm sure Alex Anthopoulos would certainly pounce on it. If that were to happen, for sure. But again, there's still options in the trade market and still unsigned. Jack Flaherty, I mean, even though he's kind of down on my list after what he said, the teams are doing so little in comparison to the Dodgers. Yeah. Oh, I agree. One's not coming to mind right now, and I don't know other team situations with like veterans like that in my brain currently, but I definitely get where you're coming from. I just hope we don't go down the Rich Hill mountain, but he says he wants to pitch again. I think he's like 42 or 43. But I mean, Jesse Chavez signed a minor league deal with the Rangers, so Kelenic will play right field with De La Cruz until Ronald gets back, and then Kelenic will be the fourth outfielder as things stand currently. As things stand currently, he will be the fourth outfielder. But obviously, I think this is a big year for him as well to just kind of find his place. Me too. Definitely agree on Jesse there. I thought he was going to retire. Ray Kerr is recovering from Tommy John surgery. Will not be back this year. But if the bug is still biting, good for you, Jesse, and you keep getting offers and you keep rolling till you can't roll anymore. So, yeah, but I think it's 12 days for pitchers and catchers report. So I hope guys don't take so long so you don't have the things that. Yeah, we still have Dylan Dodd. I think him and Elder are probably the more prime trade candidates. They're not the most attractive trade candidates, but like them getting a change of scenery would probably be really good for them. Although weirdly, I've heard that people talking about Dylan Dodd as a possible bullpen piece, which we might explore that in spring training, or that might have just been a thing I heard. I don't know. Alan Winans was claimed by the Yankees. Nowhere. Adam Duvall went nowhere. I think he's a free agent. Same with Eddie Rosario. So a lot of I think we only have 3 players from our 2021 World Series roster that are still with the club. Ozzie, Ian Anderson, and Austin Riley. I think it might be time for Eddie and Adam to maybe retire and Eddie to maybe go overseas. I don't know, but they're still valuable. Just I don't think we open that door again. But I'm just so surprised at the Cardinals doing literally nothing with as many bad contracts and as many clogged places they have. Yeah, Bryce Elder will definitely get a shot. But whether he takes it by the horns, I don't know. And I don't know what Bryce's ceiling is. Is his ceiling just the first half of 2021? Is his ceiling the first half of 2021 and that's it? Or is there a step forward that he can take to be a reliable part of the rotation? I don't know. Any surprises this offseason? I think my biggest surprise is how is how slow everything is and how the prices have been monstrous in the contracts. I think the value of Charlie Morton, Justin Verlander, all those guys getting $15 million. The market value is nuts. And these prices are literally something you'd never seen before. I mean, Luis Severino getting $67 million from the A's. You just don't see it. And the calculatedness of the Braves may seem strange, but we've also been on guys like Jeff Hoffman and Tanner Scott. Those just didn't work out because of the massive prices. So I think that's been the most surprising thing is the prices. And no, teams won't be able to do it. I mean, nobody's ever gonna keep up with the Dodgers. It's just not a thing. It never has been, but this is just a ridiculous new low for the Dodgers. But I mean, it's until there's a salary cap or some mending of that, it's not gonna. I had a Dodger fan tell me that them spending like they have in the deferred contracts is karma because the Astros cheated in 2017. So I don't think that has anything to do with anything, but they found a loophole and they're using it while they can. Because I don't think it'll last. I think we better enjoy Daysville Hernandez will be a big part of our bullpen. I think he just needs to get the walks under control. But yeah, I think he'll be a big X factor in our bullpen. Sorry about that, but yeah. I mean, I like where the Braves are. Obviously, I would love more splashy moves, but again, we talked about this entire time. We need veteran starter, an innings eater. We need pitching, and relief pitching would be nice as well. But again, everything's calculated. And despite everybody saying Alex Anthopoulos is bad or whatever, you can't mortgage your future for now, plus the clubhouse and the everything's walking out the door that way. Hurston Waldrop will get a better look in spring training, but yeah, he's an option too. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of depth and options pitching wise. It's just not got the back of the baseball card that you can trust. And that's not a bad thing. You just, because if you're trying to go up against teams like the Dodgers and Phillies rotations, you want a little bit more stability in knowing what you're going to get every fifth day kind of thing. And I think, and if we would have signed Charlie Morton, I would have been completely fine with that because he fits that bill. But I'm glad that Charlie found a place for him, and I'm glad I can still cheer for him. But I also like the fact that you're not staying stale. Because I mean, we don't have a lot of holes. We have more holes than we have in the past with the free agent departures, but if you get stale, that's not a great thing either. And we've done a lot of great things in getting to the playoffs, but we just kind of gotten stuck, whether that with the injuries or the sameness. So having differences, having more competitions definitely isn't a bad thing. And obviously, I hope we still add. There's still a lot of quality out there. 12 days before pitchers and catchers report, so there's still a lot of things to be decided. And Alex Anthopoulos never stops trying to make our team better. And the one thing we have addressed this offseason that I'm really excited about is the minor league depth. That we're not going to get caught trying to, with all the injury stuff and bad luck that happened last year, we're not going to get caught without many a backup plan. And just there's a lot of guys on our Gwinnett roster have been there, done that, have a lot of Major League Baseball experience. So you're just not going to get caught searching, scrapping, and clawing like we were last year. And I really appreciate that. And yes, I love Ronaldo Lopez as well. Yeah, so I'm hoping the Dodgers have some bad voodoo this year or something, because karma's got to work in some different way, I think. But it is what it is for now, and give somebody for everybody to not like right now. So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, but the Braves have made me work extra hard for content this offseason. I didn't think it was going to be this slow in terms of moves and Tim Hires. I do know that he has worked with Boston during their championship run. He worked with Texas during their championship run. He preaches more. From what I understand, he preaches more well-rounded hitters, not exactly like the home run ball is what we hold our hat on, and we've held our hat on. I think he'll preach a little bit more of a diverse offense, a diverse approach, and obviously you're still going to love the home runs, and I think that's what Jurickson Profar brings. He brings on base percentage, he brings doubles, he brings singles, he brings walks, he brings that kind of thing that he's not trying to, not that we're trying to hit homer every time or the big swing. He's trying to the rally extender and just doing different things like that. So that's the vibe I got from him. Obviously, it's been a while since anyone's kind of talked about him, but that's the vibe I got from the new hitting coach and what he brings. And again, this could be another thing of a new voice could help elevate guys' games even more, because things can get stale. Even if the continuity of a staff is something that you want, but also the same message over and over. I don't know how you could say something in so many different ways, if that makes sense. But yeah, the Braves kind of made me work hard for content. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. The Braves have kind of made me work hard for content, but that'll dissipate in the next 12 days, and we just talk about baseball for as long as we can, and hopefully a lot of wins and all that stuff. But I think we're in a really good spot still. Obviously, pitching is the biggest priority. No, Strider will not be ready to go. He will be ready in May. But he will go through regular spring training, but they just don't want him to rush him back. As been determined now, or as been said by Alex Anthopoulos a few times, which is probably really smart. But again, there's a lot of teams that haven't done a lot that I expected to do more. Seattle, Cardinals, even the Giants, honestly. So I think the Braves are still in a really good spot, despite losing a lot of guys that we love. But that's just the reality of sports and the reality of rosters. They have to change sometimes at some point. So, and I think there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of fire from our core guys because of all the injuries and all the struggles and junk we went through last year. There's a lot of going to be prove you wrong type of things, and I think that can be elite for sure. But obviously, I'll be a little bit concerned if we don't add starting pitching. Just again, reliable back of the baseball card. Innings eaters is probably the most important at this point. But again, it's gotta be a right situation for all parties involved, and there's a million factors. Because trust me, you don't want a baseball situation, Jimmy Butler situation, like a baseball situation that would turn into a Jimmy Butler situation would be disgusting. So No, exactly. It's exactly. I think the reality is you need 10 to 15 pitchers that you can rely on throughout the season, but you really have to have 5. Um, yeah. So you really don't want. Yes, the Jimmy Butler situation is absolutely dumb. The only reason I brought it up is because you just don't want that type of situation in baseball because you know how messy that could get. So you just have to really make sure everything works for every side. Um, uh, um, yeah, I think we could definitely easily do that. Again, it might be a little slower start without Ronald. He won't be here back until May, but yes, I can easily see 4 to 5. But again, I need a couple of pitchers just um, to. I mean, I feel really comfortable with our 1, 2, 3, but the 4, 5 is really. Flaherty would be great, but he's just as up and down as anyone, and I don't know if he'd fit in our clubhouse, to be honest, with the comments he made about the Dodgers are doing everything and everybody else is doing nothing. I don't know that did him any favors. I would honestly love Nick Pivetta if it didn't cost us a draft pick, but and we may still do that. I don't know. He might be one that would be willing to sign later. I don't know, but the trade market's still probably a thing with the Padres situation that I've talked about on and off this show. So Flaherty is the gem on the market. I just don't know because he has been inconsistent. Uh, and he did not have a really good experience in Baltimore, like AKA Jimmy Butler ish. So that could be a factor as well. And you know how important. Yes, Justin Verlander has signed with the San Francisco Giants 1 year, 15. Yeah, probably. Even though I don't like bullpen games, but yeah, probably. Especially if we sign Ryan Stanek because um, he was known for that when he was with Tampa, so that could be a thing. Um, who knows? But I really like the idea of Ryan Stanek, and it was reported a few days ago that we were interested in him. And with Ryan Presley off to Chicago, um, that gives another relief team off the board that needs pitching. So, but again, there's probably some guys we're not even thinking of that are maybe available in trade or whatnot. But so we will see. But I'm very intrigued by this spring training, by the battles, by what else we will add, if anything. I'm sure we'll add stuff. It's whether the track record will be there or not. I don't know. But I'm really excited. I think Penn Murphy is somewhere else. I don't know where he is. I can't remember. I think he went and signed with somebody else. He may be still around, but I have no idea, honestly. No, we did not get Tanner Scott. We were on the 1 yard line with him, and then the Dodgers swooped in. 4 years, 72 for Tanner Scott. So, but again, anything happens, I will have it covered for you guys. But that is pretty much the entire roster covered. And if hopefully we add and we can talk about more fun stuff next week. But that is all I got. As always, go Braves, champions forever. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. I don't know what reliever you're talking. I don't know who your reliever you're talking about. I will think on it and give you an answer to that next week. Yes, Iglesias, Raisel Iglesias is still here. He will be our closer. Yeah.